A Mortal's Journey to Immortality Episode 303. In the previous episode, Han Li finally reunited with Elder Lu and Marquis Nanlong after hiding in seclusion for a time. The three discussed the plan to enter Devilfall Valley and deal with the dangerous ancient flame toad. Carefully negotiating how to divide the treasures from ancient cultivator remains, Han Li secured his condition to claim the inner core of the beast. All while learning that the Ghost Spirit Sect's secret entry method had been deliberately leaked, giving them an unexpected advantage. 7 days later, the miasma surrounding the myriad Link Mountains nearly vanished, revealing Devilfall Valley's perilous entrance. The valley, riddled with wandering spatial tears that had ended countless cultivators' lives, now drew an eager crowd, with Devilfall medallions dividing the brave from the desperate. At the end of the previous episode, Han Li and his companions prepared to step into the valley, fully aware of its deadly reputation yet driven by the promise of immense treasures. What will happen next? Stay tuned. And the story continues. Vines covered the small valley's surroundings as a ball of white light shot towards it. Within the white light, there was a beautiful green-robed woman sitting upright on top of a snow-white bird. The bird's feathers shimmered in the sunlight, and its piercing eyes scanned the valley below. Without hesitation, the bird folded its wings and dove swiftly toward the dense thicket of vines. Its trajectory precise and controlled, the woman raised her hand gracefully, forming a complex spell seal in midair. As she did, the ground trembled and a bright green light spread across the vines. Suddenly, the thick, twisting vines vanished, revealing a translucent barrier glowing with verdant energy. With a fluid motion, the woman dismounted from her bird and, in a flash of brilliant white light, passed through the barrier. The protective energy surrounding the valley faded away as the green light dissipated. Behind the barrier, 6 cultivators dressed in green sat around a 5-pointed spell formation roughly 20 meters wide. Positioned at the entrance of the valley, at each corner of the formation, 1 cultivator sat cross-legged, their focus absolute as the lines of the spell flickered with a soft spirit light. At the very center of the formation sat a long-bearded old man, his eyes closed and hands resting on his knees in a posture of meditation. A moment later, the old man slowly opened his eyes, revealing a sharp and discerning gaze that swept across the sky. Above them, a white light descended gradually. When the light touched the ground, the green-robed woman appeared in front of him and bowed deeply, her robes fluttering slightly in the wind. "This disciple greets her martial senior," she said respectfully, her voice steady and calm. "The miasma on the mountain range has completely disappeared, and many cultivators have already gathered in front of Devilfall Valley." The old man twirled his long, flowing beard and asked slowly, "Has the Ghost Spirit Sect made an appearance yet?" After a moment of careful thought, the woman replied, "Apart from a few individuals, the majority of the Ghost Spirit Sect have yet to take action." The old man snorted softly, a hint of amusement in his expression. "Since the Ghost Spirit Sect have yet to act, we must not be hasty either. We only need to remain vigilant of their elders to avoid any mishap. Marshal Niece Han, continue monitoring their movements, and report back immediately if there is any change." "Yes, this disciple will set off at once," she responded, saluting him again before mounting her spirit bird and flying off toward the distance. The old man watched until she disappeared from sight, his eyes glinting brightly before he sank into deep thought once more. The 5 cultivators surrounding the spell formation remained completely still, seemingly carved from wood, their calm presence undisturbed by the arrival of Marshal Niece Han. The old man, finding this entirely ordinary, closed his eyes and resumed his meditation. Meanwhile, atop a lofty mountain, a middle-aged Taoist priest in gray robes stood upon a jagged boulder. His robes whipping in the strong wind, he squinted toward Devilfall Valley, his sharp gaze assessing the unfolding situation from afar. Beside him stood 2 sinister puppets, ancient constructs that radiated a faint, terrifying energy. The Taoist priest's lips curved into a small, satisfied smile. "With these 2 nascent soul-level ancient puppets, my journey to Devilfall Valley will be fruitful," he muttered. Raising his hand, he struck the puppets with a spell seal. In an instant, The puppets shrank rapidly and disappeared into his sleeve. With a flick of his wrist, the Taoist priest tore through the sky in a streak of red light, heading directly toward the valley. Elsewhere, 3 streaks of light cut across the sky in a precise formation. Han Li would have been shocked to recognize 2 of the travelers, a sallow-faced old man in yellow robes, the venerable ancestor Lingu of Yellow Maple Valley, and a pale, stern woman dressed in white, the Grand Elder of the Masked Moon Sect and senior martial sister to Nangong Wan. The third figure was an unfamiliar old man with steep brows and a lion-like nose, whose presence radiated quiet authority. The 3 moved in complete silence, disappearing from view as they sped toward Devilfall Valley. Below, near the myriad Link Mountains, countless cultivators began to gather, each exuding confidence and strength. Among them, Han Li had already arrived close to Devilfall Valley, positioning himself atop a mound several kilometers away from the entrance. He observed the valley carefully, probing the surrounding area with his spiritual sense. Within a radius of tens of kilometers, he detected over 1,000 cultivators, many possessing the formidable powers of nascent soul eccentrics. While none could rival the 3 great Heavenly South cultivators or the Moulan divine sages individually, these cultivators each wielded unusual and dangerous secret abilities that demanded caution. Han Li remained composed but cautious, knowing that even a single mistake could prove fatal in Devilfall Valley. He periodically measured the valley's entrance, which appeared deceptively small from the outside, only 30 meters wide, with gray clouds swirling ominously above and surging with spiritual energy. This peculiar aura left a cold, intimidating impression on anyone who gazed upon it. Probing deeper with his spiritual sense, Han Li could only see 300 meters into the valley before encountering a mysterious spatial restriction. Though he could forcefully pierce it, he refrained, unwilling to risk exposure in such a dangerous area. He then settled cross-legged, closing his eyes and meditating, letting time pass cautiously. Hours later, Han Li detected a familiar aura amid the growing crowd of cultivators. After careful observation, he identified the source and frowned slightly. A voice shouted nearby, startling the gathered cultivators, "The Moulan have arrived. The Moulan spell warriors also seek treasures in Devilfall Valley." The announcement sparked a wave of commotion as all eyes turned toward the approaching figures. Han Li's heart trembled slightly at the sight of a strange, massive flying carriage. The carriage, over 60 meters long and gleaming with silver light, was engraved with intricate talismanic characters. On board were over 10 Moulan spell warriors, unmistakable in their ceremonial robes. Han Li's astonishment grew as he recognized the 2 leading figures in the carriage, the scholarly divine sage surnamed Zhang and the woman surnamed Le, the guardian of the ancient lantern. With them in charge, the spell warriors displayed no fear of any retaliation from lesser cultivators. Yet Han Li wondered why the 3 great Heavenly South cultivators would allow such bold entry. Given the lingering hatred from past border battles, the carriage landed on a small mountain near Han Li's vantage point. As the spell warriors disembarked, spell warrior Le struck the chariot with a spell seal, shrinking it instantly. The assembled cultivators at the valley's entrance watched with surprise, matching Han Li's own astonishment. Before the Moulan's presence could fully settle, bright streaks of light appeared on the horizon. Over 100 lights, moving calmly and deliberately, approached Devilfall Valley. "It's the Ghost Spirit Sect," some shouted, their voices tinged with alarm and awe. Attention quickly shifted from the Moulan to these new arrivals. Han Li's expression hardened as he observed the descending cultivators. Within moments, over 100 black-clad cultivators were revealed, led by 3 prominent figures. Han Li immediately recognized the deputy sect master, Wang Tianggu, standing to the left. Scanning the group, he identified Wang Chan and Yan Ruyan. Noting Wang Chan's apparent health and Yan Ruyan's somewhat sallow appearance, although he could not immediately discern whether Yan Ruyan had healed fully or concealed injuries, Han Li concluded that Wang Chan no longer posed a serious threat. His focus shifted to the other 2 nascent soul cultivators leading the Ghost Spirit Sect contingent. The central figure, a middle-aged man in wide robes, carried an aura of authority that made it clear he was in charge. To his right stood an older man with pale skin, peppered hair, sharp eyes, and a sinister aura. While both were nascent soul cultivators, they appeared unfamiliar to Han Li, as if they had not participated in the battle at the border. However, the old man's mid-nascent soul cultivation caught Han Li's attention. In this episode, we saw Han Li observing the growing crowd of powerful cultivators gathering outside Devilfall Valley. We witnessed martial niece Han reporting back to her long-bearded senior. While many mysterious and formidable figures, including the Moulan spell warriors and the Ghost Spirit Sect, made their presence known, the tension rises as all sides converge, each with their own motives, making it clear that Devilfall Valley will become the stage for a dangerous and intense encounter. What happens next? Stay tuned for the next episode of Immortal's journey to immortality. If you enjoyed this episode or found it interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to receive the latest updates on Han Li's journey. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.